So today we are going to be solving what are called literal equations, which means instead of numbers, you have all variables in the equation. Sometimes there's a number thrown in, but basically it looks like the alphabet threw up on your paper, okay? What I wanna do as a lead into this is go ahead and flip the paper over. See how there's a lot of blank space on the back? I'm gonna give you an equation to solve with your partner group, whoever you wanna work with, okay? You just turn to the person next to you. I want you to solve for X. So I want you don't have to write solve for X if you don't want to, but we're gonna just write this equation, X minus 5 over 2 equals 8. I'm gonna pause the recording, give you a minute or two to try it, share with the person next to you. I got this, what did you get? And then I'll go over it. What did you do to both sides first? Multiply by 2. Hey guys, why are we gonna multiply by 2? Beautiful, division. Okay, so X minus 5 equals 16, and then plus 5 to get rid of the minus 5, and you get X equals 21. So here's what I want to do. We're going to do a side by side here. This is still going to be solved for X, except I'm going to take away the numbers. So we'll do this one together, but do you see, I want you to do a compare and contrast. Do you see how it is essentially the same? Write it down. I'm not talking to hear myself talk. Write it down. Do you see how there's an X? Do you see how there's a minus and then something else? Do you see that? This one's X minus 5. This one's X minus Y. Do you see how there's a division? It's the same in both of them. Instead of a 2, it's an H. And then over here, instead of an 8, it's a P. Are you with me? I want to get X by itself. Exactly same as I did here. Do you see how here we multiplied by 2? Over here, what are we going to multiply by? 8. Good, perfect. Multiply both sides by H. The H's will cancel. It is no different than multiplying by the 2 over here. It is literally the exact same thing. It's just an H instead of a 2. So you get X minus Y equals, now here you actually did 8 times 2 and got 16, but you don't know what either of these values are. They're variables. So if it's P times H, you would just leave it as PH. It's like, don't overthink that. It's literally all it is, okay? Now over here, we added 5. Over here, we're gonna add Y. So you're gonna add Y to both sides. It's PH plus Y, good. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the answer. That's it. See, like, there's like no math. Like you don't actually evaluate anything and get a result. You're just moving stuff. So literally just let me move this over here and move that over there. That's what a literal equation is. If you can solve a regular equation, you can solve a literal equation. Let's flip it over. We're just going to do a bunch of practice together. That's really all it is. Now you have to pay attention to which variable it says to solve for, though. Can you get your head up off the desk? Thank you. I don't have to say that again, okay? It says solve for Y, so just be really careful. That means get Y by itself. So what would you do to get Y by itself? Good. Whatever variable it is you want to solve for, leave that one where it is. Move everything else away from it. So we're going to subtract X, and we would get Y equals W minus X. And that's what it is. Like, that's it. Is Y alone? Yes, we're done. Again, if you can solve a regular equation, you can solve a literal equation. No difference. It just looks scarier because there's letters everywhere, that's all. All right, let's look at 2. It says solve for M. That means you're going to leave M where it is, move everything else away. What does this bar mean? Opposite of division? Multiply. We're going to multiply by 2A on both sides to make the 2A cancel. So you would get M equals, now I frankly don't care what order you write this stuff in, but you know how you usually see the coefficient first? Like the order doesn't really matter, but usually you would see the 2 put first. Are you coming with me on that? Like if you wrote J2A on your paper, I would give you credit, but let's put 2 or 2AJ or 2JA. Again, it doesn't matter, but usually you see the 2 out front because it's a coefficient. Every once in a while, there will be like an actual number system. All right, number 3, solve for Y. Leave Y where it is. You want to move everything else away from it. What's that? You think we do these before the other equations? Like, and then introduce the numbers? I could see that. Well, what would you do to both sides here? Leave y where it is. Minus 3x. Beautiful. So 2y equals, don't overthink it. Well, what's already there? A w. So it'll be w minus 3x. Yeah, don't overthink it. Whatever it says is there is what's there. W minus 3x is just w minus 3x. What's your last step? Yeah, division by 2. Now look, if you write divide by 2, there's nothing you can do to simplify that. So I'm actually fine if you don't recopy the whole thing. That's okay with me. Because the more times you copy something over, the more likely it is you're going to do a copy error. You know how the telephone game works? Like you say something over and over again, eventually it gets messed up. So I'm actually fine with you not recopying it because I don't want you to make an error. Okay. Like technically you should recopy that whole thing. But what I'm saying is I'm fine if you don't, because I don't want you to make a mistake copying it. I'm fine if you stop it. Right here, we're solving for A. Leave A where it is, move everything else away from it. So what gets moved over first? Yeah, R, and we would plus R. So A over V equals, don't overthink it, what's going to be on the other side? That's it, F plus R. This bar means division, so we are going to multiply by V. Now, when you multiply the V to the other side, you must give it a hug because you're multiplying V to the entire thing. So these cancel, you get A equals F plus R in parentheses times V. And the little dot is not necessary. I just put that in there to show multiplication. If you don't want to put the dot, that's totally fine. I see parentheses. What are we going to have to do? It's no different than the other equations. Distribute, which is multiplying, okay? We're going to distribute the A through there. So that will give you A times B. We'll get minus A. Good. You guys have got this. That's awesome. AB minus AC. Just multiplied the A to both. I like what you brought up. Hey, maybe I should bring that up in the meeting. Like, hey, maybe we should do this before solving the other equation. All right, we still want B by itself. Leave that where it is. Don't move that. Shove everything else away from it. So what are we going to do to both sides? Plus AC. So it'll be AB equals, yeah, D plus AC. Kind of feels like you're trying to spell a word, but not quite. Letter explosion. Last step, and don't forget what you want to get by itself. We want B by itself. So leave B where it is, divide by A. And again, I'm okay if you want to just stop there and not recopy it. That's fine with me. I'm not trying to tell you to be lazy. I would never do that. Again, it's just the more you copy stuff, the more likely it is you're going to mess it up, and I don't want you to have a mistake. We'll do one more together, and then I'm going to have you guys try some with your partners. We want Y by itself. Leave Y where it is. Sometimes I'll even just cover it up. What are we going to move over first? Yeah, minus 3x. Beautiful. So that will be negative 4y equals. Now you can't put them together. Let's have that conversation though. Why can't you put these together? Because it almost looks like you can, but you can't. Yeah, like that one has a variable now. They're not like terms. Okay, don't glaze over on me. We're almost done. All right, so just leave it like it is. Last step, you want y by itself? Divide by negative 4, good. And again, I'm comfortable with you stopping there. And if you want to recopy it, you totally can. I think there's only 2 on the back. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit pause on the recording. I want you to try 7 and 8, compare with those around you. What I am looking for is an effort. The expectation is that you're going to try. I will obviously give you all the answers. Take a couple minutes and we're just going to try. All right, what did you do first for number 7? You want R by itself. Times N, good. Now, does it matter if you write NP or PN? No, it does not make a difference. What do you guys want me to put? PN, right? Equals R minus C, and I use all capitals for this one. Now, be careful. Remember what letter you want by its variable, I should say, instead of letter. You want R by itself, so leave R where it is. What are you going to get? Plus C. So it will be PN or NP plus C equals R. Well, let's see. We want H by itself. Okay, there's a fraction. How would you cancel out this fraction? Times 2. Good. We're going to multiply both sides by 2. Good job. See, you were like, I don't know how to do this. And then you got the first step right. So 2a equals H times B plus C. This one's really tricky. If you distributed, here's what's going to be the problem. I'm sorry, I'll just scoot him. If you distribute, you're going to end up with an H in both of those terms. Do you get what I'm saying? So leave H where it is. H is being multiplied by B plus C, and we want H alone. So how do you undo multiplying? So we're going to divide by B plus C. Because there's parentheses, you can just go ahead and divide by the whole thing. See them cancel out? And now H is alone, which was the whole goal. That one was really hard. So it's just 2a over B plus C equals H. Because I feel like you would want to distribute because of the parentheses, but the problem is the variable you want by itself is the one that's out front. So if you distribute it, let's have that conversation. If you distributed the H, you would get this. And then you wouldn't be able to get H alone because you'd have one in both of those terms. So that's like not going to work. Go ahead. No, that's a good question. These parentheses aren't strictly necessary, but again, I always say you can't give too many hugs. So I would leave it.